Hey fish fans, I'm going to show you how to fix a broken rod, and you can clearly see this one has a broken reel seat. Now the top of it has split, the metal has come apart, the plastic insert has come apart. You don't have to throw your rod away. There is a way to fix it, and I'm going to show you how that's done. So first, to get things started, we've got to cut this reel seat in half, which means we're going to cut through the blank. It's going to be in two pieces, but I'll show you how to fix that problem. As you can see, we split about in the center of the reel seat, and that way, when we put this back together, we're going to include another piece of rod blank in here to keep it from breaking in the future. So now, we've got to clean up our two pieces, which means the rest of this has to come off to allow for the new reel seat to go on. Best way to do that is just take your hacksaw and cut it off. One thing you want to be careful of when you are cutting, that you don't cut it too far and get down into the good part of the rod blank. So here we just cut enough so that I can get this piece off like this. Now, this is already in place for me to accommodate new reel seat to go on. So let's get our other piece cleaned up. It won't be as easy. So this one's a little more tricky because you have the hood of the reel seat in the way, and that's a piece of stainless that you have to cut through. Now we've already got it broken, so sometimes you can get lucky and just take a pair of pliers and twist that off without having to cut it. So remember, we're trying not to cut into the good part of the rod, and there is a little bit of space in there from where the reel seat is built up that you can get some room to not cut into the blank. So now we've got that broken free, we can pull this off, get it out of our way. So now what we've got to do, that's not fitting on too well, so we want to file that down a little bit. And this is your glue from the first time we built this that we're just taking down to accommodate this going back on. Okay, we're almost there. So I know everybody's wondering, oh my gosh, you chewed up the grip. Now the grip doesn't look right. Things happen sometimes. But let me show you how to fix that. I've got my lathe set up here where I can sand that out right now to bring that back to looking brand new. All right, so here we go. We got our pieces cut. We've got our grip sanded. Looks brand new now. So while we had it in the lathe, it was easier just to make it look like new, and that's what we did. Took the roughness out of it. So I try to put this tape on here to eliminate all the glue getting into the threads of the reel seat. 50-50 mix on it. It's pretty simple. So now, what we're going to do is take our first piece. You know, this was the piece I was telling you has to go inside of the rod. We need to create a strong point right there where the two come together, because we eliminated that when we cut it. We're using a graphite reel seat that has no strength. If you were to not put this inside of the rod, as soon as you hooked a big fish, the rod would break because it couldn't handle the pressure with this plastic. This insert is another piece of fiberglass from a rod blank that is now fit to go inside and to give that support right where it's needed, and we will not have failure again. So remember, when I'm gluing things, the glue is what I want holding everything. That's the strong point. So you want to make sure you have very little to no air when you do that. So take a little more time and work it in so that you don't get those air pockets. And the air pockets are the little voids that water gets in or causes failure down the road. So now that I got that piece in, I'm going to start putting some more glue on where we're going to put the reel seat on. Again, I'm trying to fill all the voids with glue so that I don't have any of those air pockets. All right, so our reel seat goes in place like so, and we take our next piece and we get it ready. Put a little glue on the inside because you know that piece that we just made is going to push up in there. You can't put too much glue in because you'll create an air pocket sometimes and there's nowhere for it to go. So now we have an air pocket in there because we've taken the two pieces, joined them together, there's nowhere for the air to go. Problem? Yes. Can I solve it? Yes. Here's how you do it. Use a piece of string or cord, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes these 3-ply cords are too thick. So what I'll do is I'll take one of the strands out of it. Now I'm going to make it so that I put it over the end of my piece that's going inside. So this is going to create an airway for that air to escape as I'm pushing it up. See, that's still backing off because the air is still in there. You've got to get that air out. There it goes. So it just aired out. I can still hear it coming out. That's key sometimes when you're doing repairs, is being able to get everything together. See how that moved? So you've got to push them all together. You'll put a rod together and everything will look great. And then you'll go back to look at it when it dries and it came apart or it moved. So now your job is, you got to do it again. I hate doing things twice. So you want to make sure, now I'm just cleaning up the glue. You just want to make sure everything looks right. We've released that air, so it shouldn't be a problem with the reel seat moving out. Now our problem is going to be lining everything up. So the lineup, you have your reel seat that has to line with your guides. You have your gimbal that needs to line up with the reel seat as well. So we have two things going here we need to check and make sure are correct before we're done. So the first one I do is I'll check this end with the reel seat. So I'll get that straight first. You want the hood of the reel seat and your gimbal to be in line, otherwise when it's in the rod holder it's off. Now I'm going to line the guides with the reel seat. Then it's always nice for this and the guides to be in line. So here we go with our repair. Clean up the grip a little bit. We brought back all the life on the grip because we got rid of the dirt and the scales and the chum and what gets on grips after a while. But there's our finished product. I wanna go fishing. So fish fans, you saw us fix the broken reel seat on a very nice custom rod that I had made. It is possible to do. And I'm going to show you some of the tricks of the trade that I've learned over the last 40 years. So stay tuned, and certainly if you got any questions, comments, leave them below.